I'm Matt from Untrained Terrain, and today we're going to be talking about Lisa Holm, a sad story from Sweden. Today, our story takes place in Göttingen, Sweden. Göttingen, Sweden is a municipality in Västra Götaland County, Sweden. It has a population of about 5,000 and quite honestly is just your typical small village in Sweden. Everyone knows everyone and everyone also knows everyone's business. There isn't much to say about the town other than the fact that it's small, and its residents' biggest pastime is football. Now, living in Göttingen was a young lady named Lisa Holm. She was 17 years old, she just graduated school. Her mother said she was a caring, kind, compassionate girl, and she was always there for friends and family when they needed her. She was a really good person. Now, Lisa was 17 and she just graduated high school, and her dad bought her a moped to travel back and forth to her new job, which was a cafe, and it was a 45-minute drive away in Blomberg, Sweden. And when she was going back and forth to work, for the first 10 times or so, her dad followed her back and forth to make sure she was used to the moped, and then he let her go by herself for the first time. Now here we have a 17-year-old girl with the new freedom of having a moped to drive to work, and she's so excited about it. This is the worst day for something to happen to poor Lisa. On Sunday, the 7th of June, 2015, Lisa gives her parents a hug, she says goodbye, and she goes off to drive her moped 45 minutes away to Blomberg, Sweden to go to work at the cafe. Now, little did they know this would be the last time they would hear from poor Lisa because something happened to her that night. Lisa got there on her moped safe and sound, and she worked her shift, and she had a great time laughing with her coworkers and her friends while she was working, and she was working the night shift, so it was her responsibility to lock up the cafe after hours so nobody else could get in. So she did that, and while she was doing that, her phone accidentally called her dad, which was a pocket dial, and her dad could hear her laughing with her coworkers and joking around, so he didn't suspect anything. Little did he know that was the last time he would ever hear from her. Now, before the pocket dial happened, at 6:30 p.m., Lisa called her dad to say she was leaving the cafe to drive home on her moped. That's a 45-minute drive, so at 7:30 her dad was worried and he got into his car and he drove back and forth the route between the house and the cafe, looking in the ditches in case she got in an accident, and when he arrived at the cafe, he found her moped in the parking lot and had a sigh of relief. Now, as he got closer to the moped, he realized that the keys were in it and it was left alone, and he realized that his daughter would not do that because she was too smart and she was taught not to. So that really worried him, and then he was very suspicious, and he called the police and reported her missing. Now, the police immediately treated this as an abduction and not a runaway case. They did a preliminary investigation, and they were immediately on it. They came and they searched the cafe, all nearby areas, and there was a barn, there was houses, they went and knocked on the doors, they talked to everybody, but they didn't find anything. So they got a search party together and they announced on the news that there was a missing teenager, however they didn't give her name. Now, around the same time they announced this on the news, they also found something that would turn the investigation into another direction. In the barn that was close to the cafe, they found a moped glove and it was confirmed to be Lisa's. Now, the unfortunate thing about the glove that was found, it was found by farm workers. It was then given to the landlord, who gave it to the police. And the chain of custody, aka all the hands it went through, made it that the evidence that could be found on it wouldn't be able to be used in the investigation because it would have like 5 people's DNA on it. However, the discovery of the glove allowed police to upgrade the investigation, get search parties, and really do a thorough search of the area surrounding the cafe and the cafe itself. Now, there was a lot of people helping in this search because, stuff like this just doesn't happen around Göttingen, and they were really hoping to help, and they did help. Now, on the sports ground close to the cafe, the search party found an old cell phone with a broken screen, 2 old receipts, and an old used bus ticket. And Lisa's father confirmed that this all belonged to Lisa. So police thought that maybe the phone got broken because there was a struggle, or the phone got broken because the person who took her broke it so it couldn't be tracked and track them to where they took Lisa. Now, things really weren't looking good. I mean, police talked to everybody they could, all the neighbors and the residents, everybody near the cafe as well. I mean, they really had no good leads. They were kind of stuck, so they were kind of in a hard spot in this investigation. On Wednesday, June 10th, 2015, police released Lisa's name to the public in hopes that somebody would come forward with information regarding the case. Now, this still remains to this day the biggest search ever to take place in Sweden for a person. And because of this, luckily, they found one of Lisa's earrings in the same barn that they found the glove in. So police brought in forensic investigators to sweep the barn and see if they could find any evidence regarding the case. And they found human feces, and the investigators actually thought that it belonged to the person who took Lisa, because I guess there's this thing with humans that if you get overexcited, you can void your bowels, and that's what they think happened. I know, it's weird, right? Now while searchers were out and about and the search parties were looking everywhere, there was a small search party that went to this place called Martorp Farms. And when they arrived there, these two dudes showed up in a car, and they were like, yeah, you shouldn't search here because this was already searched and the whole property was searched, nothing going on here, nothing at all. So the investigators and the searchers were pretty suspicious, so they called police and told them about it, and police came and did a sweep of the property. And in a barn on the property, they found lockers of workers. And in the work lockers, they were all empty except for one, which had some old clothes in it. And behind the clothes in that locker, sadly, was Lisa Holm's dead body. And she had rope around her neck and duct tape over her mouth and nose. Friday, June 12, 2015, police stormed Martorp farmhouse and they arrested 25-year-old, I can't even remember his name, Neri Belavicius and his younger brother, and they arrested him and charged Neri with the murder because they found Neri's DNA on the rope that was wrapped around Lisa's neck when they found her body. On November 17, 2015, a jury found Neri guilty and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. Now later on, his lawyer would appeal this because his lawyer said that his client had somebody help him hide the body, and that's why they were appealing. But they didn't win the appeal, it was denied, and his life imprisonment was then set for life, so. And if you liked my video, please like and subscribe. Thanks.